someone is 2 years old, and we want to try to help the family as much as we can. So thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you coming. This time we'll recognize any visitors other than Sarah. Okay.
I very much did enjoy the mock trial.
Okay, great.
I thought they had won.
They lost by 1 point, I believe.
Oh. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Going to Salem, right?
Yeah. But we're still in there. We'll see what happens. Next one's the 20th.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report and the high school extracurricular fund report?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Petrucci.
Second.
Second by Mr. Matarazzo.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. May I have a motion to approve the payment of bills for the month of February 2019?
Motion.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Kachasik. Second by Mr. Petrucci.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Old business.
We have none this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Lego. I already spoke about executive session. New business, athletics and extracurricular, Mr. Matarazzo.
Thank you, Mr. President. A few things I just wanted to mention on the athletics side. It's kind of interesting, the senior night for basketball. They did something kind of special I was impressed by. They actually not just had parents come in, but also recognized their favorite teacher. So every student on the boys and girls team in basketball had a teacher recognized as an influence and a positive. Came across very, very well. And also at the basketball game, I was really happy that our friend Colton here was sang the national anthem as part of a duet. And then there was another solo. Yeah, he did a super job, I thought. And it was nice having students perform rather than hearing a recording. So happy to see that. And also, I guess, Dr. Harris, tomorrow night or what night is the swimming?
Tomorrow night is the swimming night for seniors, divers and swimming. I believe it starts at 6 o'clock, and they did send everyone an invitation, so I really appreciate it.
I appreciate getting those, by the way. Thank you.
Yes. So part of the athletic side. I'd also like to move to employ tonight the following personnel. New employment is contingent upon the receipt of all necessary certification, documentation, and the acceptance of Act 34, 151, and 114 waivers from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Employment is effective for the 2018-19 season unless otherwise noted. Dana Williams, assistant varsity baseball coach, district-wide, salary of $3,831. John Carlisle, head boys 7th and 8th grade soccer coach, district-wide, salary $2,648 for the 2019-20 season. And Jason Zimmer, assistant boys 7th and 8th grade soccer coach, district-wide, salary $2,648 also for the 2019-20 season.
Second.
Second by Mr. Petrucci.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Thank you. I'd like to also move to approve the following volunteer coach, effective immediately. All coaching volunteers must have Act 34, 151, and 114 waivers on file with the athletic director. Brenda Vaverka, volunteer girls lacrosse coach.
Second.
Second by Mr. Petrucci.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Thank you. I'd also like to move to accept the following resignations. Ashley Temple, the spring musical painting coordinator. Edward Nero, head boys 7th and 8th grade soccer coach. John Carlisle, assistant boys 7th and 8th grade soccer coach. And Brett Benduga, volunteer girls and boys volleyball coach.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nemec. Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
And last, move to approve the high school jazz band trip request to perform at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio on April 18th of 2019, a cost of $1,000 to the district for the bus. Any additional costs will be covered by the organization.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Ising.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. President. That's all for tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Matarazzo. Budget and Finance, Mr. Kachasik.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to authorize the administration to make payments amounting to $11,300.40 for credits earned by professional employees in accordance with the negotiated agreement. The list was presented to the board showing the individual payments due and will be filed with the official minutes of the meeting.
Second.
Question.
Second by, is that Mr.
Dallas.
Leonard? Mr. Leonard. Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to award bids for diesel fuel for the 2019-20 school year per the school district's quantity request to Gutman Energy, whom the Westmoreland Intermediate Unit Joint Purchasing Consortium for Fuel is identified as the lowest responsible bidder, meeting or equaling specifications for diesel fuel at a fixed rate of 2.0426 cents per gallon. A copy of the individual awards will be filed in the district's business office.
Second.
Second by Mr. Leonard.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
That is all I have this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Kachasik. Buildings and Ground Safety, Mr. Dallas Leonard.
I have nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Employee Relations, Negotiation, Transportation, Mrs. Ising.
Nothing to report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mrs. Ising. Food Service, Mr. Nemec.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Nemec. Personnel and Curriculum, Mr. Petrucci.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to approve the additional substitute teachers and support personnel for the month of February 2019.
Second.
Second by Mr. Matarazzo.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to employ the following personnel. New employees are contingent upon the receipt of all necessary documentation and acceptance of Act 34, 151, and 114 waivers, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Doreen Gamble, Zoe Manhart, twice. Alice Kleinschmidt, Marina Ferrari, twice. Peter Yiannopoulos, good Greek name, twice. Francis Laspin, Rachel Saxinger, twice. Kaylee Zona, twice. Emily Fetsamufu, I don't know if that's probably true.
Pretty good. That sounds about right.
Jamie Pratt and Leah Paris, and their assignments as listed.
Second.
Question.
Second by Mr. Nemec. Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to set the following retirement resignation: Gregory Dare, custodian, position number 12, 11 to 7 a.m. Tuesday through Saturday at Penn Trafford High School, effective February 28th, 2019.
Second.
Second by Mr. Leonard.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to approve the
Gregory
following.
really enjoyed his job, and he's going to be missed. He really always had a smile when he was working and always went the extra mile. So,
Is he in relation to Ron Dare, who we had brother or
son.
son?
I know he's Christie's brother.
Nephew.
Nephew.
Cousin.
Nephew, okay.
Yeah.
Move to approve the following leave request: James Ashball, intermittent FMLA, leave January 21st, 2019 to April 21st, 2019. Mary Beth Smida, FMLA leave from February 22nd to April 8th this year. Noel Stutz, FMLA leave from March 25th to May 18th this year.
Second.
Second by Mr. Leonard.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to approve the following student teacher assignments. The co-op teacher is Renee Rumbaugh. The student teacher is Kristen Legge. And also she's going to have Morgan Johnson, as listed.
Second.
Question.
Second by Mr. Nemec. Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to issue a professional contract to the following teacher in accordance with the Section 1108 School Laws of Pennsylvania. This teacher has satisfactorily completed 3 years of teaching in Penn Trafford School District. Jamie Riston.
Second.
Second by Mr. Matarazzo.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Jamie was an excellent hire. It's hard to believe it's been 3 years already.
We're saying that too much anymore. That's how time's flying.
Time does fly.
Move to approve the following out-of-state conference requests. Lene Sherman and Melissa Setmeyer, Marine Educator Workshop to learn about military, including procedures, expectations, boot camp, and life on the base in Parris Island, South Carolina, from February 5th to the 8th, 2019, at no cost to the district.
Second.
Second by Mr. Leonard.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be Go ahead.
I just want to ask, Dr. Harris, when someone goes on this kind of a trip, do they report back to you or
They
Mr.
do.
Inglace?
There's actually forms they actually have to fill out. I read them. I also like just to go and talk to them in person, too, because sometimes it's better to get that than what they can give you on a form, but they do have to. And it's just about the experience they had and what they learned and what they're going to do with it.
Any follow-up for us to be aware of? That sounds like a great opportunity.
I didn't get a chance. I was at a reading training meeting all day today, but I'll be up to high school tomorrow and I'll stop over.
Mr. Black usually do that in years past.
He did that a couple years ago.
I think so, yeah.
That's
It's
great.
a great opportunity for them to learn, especially being guidance counselors and especially with all the military and all the kids asking different questions. I know we have a lot of our recruiters who come in too, so. But it's just a good experience.
But to go to Paris Island and be able to come back in 3 days is pretty good.
Yeah, I saw them here today. I didn't get a chance to speak to them because that training was going on.
Okay, go ahead. Nick, do you have anything?
No.
Okay, the question was called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to accept and file the official ratings for instructional personnel for the 2017-18 school year as determined by the principals and superintendent.
Second.
Question?
Second by Mr. Nemec. Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move for the expulsion of student number 201-819001, beginning January 23rd, 2019, and for the remainder of the 2018-19 school year. Student will be readmitted at the beginning of 2019-2020 school year, as long as the conditions for readmission are met and stipulated in agreement signed January 18, 2019.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nemec.
Question?
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to confirm the following makeup days as designated on the approved school calendar and changes for the 2018-19 school year. School dates that were closed for inclement weather and a makeup date. The closed dates was Wednesday, January 30th. The makeup day will be Monday, February 18th. Then there's Thursday, January 31st. The makeup day will be March 18th. And the Friday, February 1st, 3 days in a row. And makeup day is Tuesday, April 23rd, which is right after spring break.
Second.
Second by Mr. Leonard.
Question, I have a question. Dr. Harris, the next day on the chopping block would be the Thursday before Good Friday?
Thursday before Good Friday, yes. So hopefully we don't have any more days, but that's what it's looking like. We actually have 2 days left. We have Thursday and then we have the Monday.
Right, but the next one's the Thursday.
The next one is a Thursday, so.
That's all. Thank you. That's my question.
Yep. Question was called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to revise the compensation rate for substitute van drivers for 2018-19 school year from starting rate of $10.95 an hour to starting rate of $15 per hour.
Second?
Second by Mr. Matarazzo.
Question, Dr. Harris, that's a nice sized jump. Is there,
We
can't
don't
find
have,
people? Is that the idea?
We only have one person willing to do the van, and he said he would have to be paid what the person was being paid. We've advertised, we've looked, we've sent out things. We don't have anybody.
Wow.
But we absolutely, positively can't not provide that service on the day.
Well, no, I know that part. It just seems like it's, okay.
And I thought,
Unfortunately, it's more than our
Yes, I thought.
teachers make.
Yeah,
Substitute
thank
teachers.
you. That's what I thought.
It is.
Okay. Questions, go ahead.
Somebody question?
Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay. Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
All right, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Petrucci. Policy, Public Relations, Legislative Title II, Mr. Stovall.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and file the minutes of the Superintendent's Information Committee meeting held on January 7th, 2019.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bill Leonard.
Question?
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
That's all I have tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Stovall. Taxes, Insurance, Census, Mr. Bill Leonard.
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing new to report this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Solicitor report.
Thank you. I have no report.
Thank you. Chris. At this time, do I have a motion for adjournment?
Mr. President, can I make a brief statement before?
Absolutely.
Not even a statement.
Mr.
a pitch, for our foundation. For anybody out there watching or listening, on the 23rd of this month, we will have our annual fundraiser for the community foundation. All the money that is raised goes back into the school in the form of grants. Doors open at 6 o'clock, where you can buy your ticket for $30 a piece. Hope to see you there. What is what? Oh, at Harrison. This is Harrison Park. Sorry.
What is it?
It's a purse bash. Thank you.
Harrison Park or Harrison Room?
Harrison Room? Harrison Room.
Harrison Room.
First bash.
6 o'clock, first bash. Thank you.
I just wanted to add one more thing about the van driver. We don't actually, the person who is our permanent van driver might have only called off 1 or 2 days a year. So when they do, we absolutely need somebody to. We were trying to use some people from Brett's maintenance team, but I know the guys were also. I know Brett did not like to release them because they have different things to do around the building, too. So we had to go out and find somebody to do this.
So you have one permanent and then...
One permanent.
Do you need one or do you need 2 permanent?
Well, we could have as many possible substitutes.
Oh, so it's a sub-piece.
It's a sub-piece, yeah.
I got you.
But again, the permanent lady actually doesn't miss quite often, but when she does, we absolutely need a van driver.
This is a nice jump. That's why I want a response to it.
Oh, yeah. Daily summary.
Okay, any other questions? Can I have an adjournment?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion by Mr. Kachasik. Second by Mr. Petrucci. That calls the end our meeting scheduled for February 11th. It's 7:30.
You could ask Brett how he sold the van driver.